Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. We're about to embark on one of television's most extensive investigations into the paranormal. We guarantee no tricks, no camera illusions and no practical jokes. If we find nothing, then you'll see nothing. But if we do manage to catch anything at all, we will share it with you honestly and leave it up to you to make up your own mind. While we were in the West Country, we came across one of the strangest hauntings we've ever heard of and just had to investigate. We've come to Athelhampton Hall near Dorchester to spend 24 hours in search of the truth.
There's been a manor at Athelhampton for over 1,000 years, but parts of the present building date back to the Middle Ages. Its history is a checkered one. From a fine manor house, it fell into disrepair as a tenant farm, but was restored to its former glory by the Cook family, who still live here today. If the books are anything to go by, Athelhampton is one of the 10 most haunted houses in England.
This is no ordinary haunted house, and the brave souls that will be spending the night with me to face the unknown are the crew. Here they all are. Say hello, crew. Hello. They've got no idea what they're letting themselves in for. Now, if we do catch any paranormal activity on camera, somebody that will be looking for hard evidence is, of course, our parapsychologist, Jason Carl. Now, Jason, what sort of things do you try to find?
Well, we're looking for hard evidence, Yvette. I mean, I'm not looking for anecdotal encounters of people saying they've seen something. I want corroborated evidence, so that's things on equipment, that's 2 or 3 people seeing the same thing at once.
So what sort of equipment are you going to be using tonight?
Well, today, one of the things that I want to sort of focus on is an EMF meter. This is the most common ghost hunting gadget that you can get, really. This tests the electromagnetic field, which exists everywhere. Everything has a field which is quite low. If the field rises, this will tell us that. And if I can rule out any natural reasons for the rise in the EMF fluctuations, that may indicate that a ghost or spirit or something anyway is happening.
Now, there's supposed to be 7 ghosts here, and one of them is an ape.
That's right.
Strange.
It's an unusual one. I mean, most people think of ghosts as being humans, people walking around. But there are just as many reported sightings of alleged ghost encounters of animals, also even of transportation, buses and cars, and of houses as well. So it's not just humans.
Also, is it true to say that ghosts don't like lights?
Well, if you accept that ghosts exist, we can only look at it from statistics. And over the last 10 years, we have seen, through investigations that we've done all over the world, that more unusual occurrences or unexplainable occurrences occur when the lights are off. So yes, if you want something to happen, in order to make them sort of increase the likelihood, you turn the lights off.
Now, we're going to be meeting our spiritual medium, Derek Okora, later on. What are you going to be looking for in Derek?
I'm going to be looking for Derek to come up with names, dates, precise and small details, which may seem irrelevant, that we can check. Things that he couldn't have known in advance. I mean, Derek doesn't know where he's coming, so we need very small, intricate pieces of information that he couldn't possibly have known, and which I can check with the owner, and later on, perhaps then that will show that what he's doing is something other than remembering facts. We want more evidence than that.
Okay. And of course, he is the last member of our team, and he's actually on his way to the location now, and we've given him no information whatsoever of Athelhampton Hall, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what he comes up with.
Well, the Cook family moved here in 1957. My grandfather bought the house. He was a surgeon by profession, but he wanted to retire to a house where he could house his antiques collection. And I think he had a taste for something a little bit different as well. I think having lived here for 30 years, there have been certain sort of spine-chilling moments. But I don't think I've ever seen a ghost myself, but I do sort of feel the place has quite a presence. And even my son, who's age 3, has already picked up certain sort of vibes about certain bits of the house being spooky.
It all started when I was pregnant with our first little boy, George. And what worried me most is that it was actually seemed to be very much concentrating on me, and it was a constant presence all the time. And I suppose you could argue I was emotional and hormonal and everything else, but it got very, very oppressive. I had terrible nightmares. I couldn't sleep at night. The first time I put him in his cot when he was 3 weeks old, I bent over the cot and I felt something touch me on my shoulder, and that really frightened me. I actually asked somebody to bless that part of the house and find out what it was, and she found that it was a child, a little girl. She said that she thought it was probably 16th century, this little girl. And I thought that was actually quite sad that it had gone on that long without anybody sort of doing anything about it. And yet also quite pleased and thankful that I had actually asked, even though I felt a bit stupid at the time.
Plenty of people have told me they've sort of seen things, but I think that they always have a little bit of a wry smile when they say it. But the monkey is the ghost that sort of always intrigues me, because this idea of a little pet monkey used to roam around the house sort of quite free, and then when the Martins died, he was looking for his new master. I find that quite spooky.
Patrick's a cynic anyway, so he's kind of not open to anything, whereas I'm a little bit more, I believe more about ghosts and things.
This is the Great Hall, and it's the oldest room in the house. Now, it used to be used as the living room, the dining room, and the bedroom by every member of the household. Now, there are supposed to be two ghosts here, seen in the evening time, fighting a duel before they both sit down to have an evening meal together.
This tiny chapel has been described as the epicentre of paranormal activity of this particular building. One theory is it's the gateway from this world to the next.
The most unusual ghost here at Athelhampton Hall is that of an ape. Now, it was the family pet of the Martins in the 1500s, and the story goes that the ape was trapped in a secret passageway behind the walls, and often it can be heard scratching to get out. The most reported ghost here is that of the Grey Lady, who walks through the passageways and comes into this bedroom. A housemaid once mistook her for a member of the public, and when she asked the Grey Lady to leave, she obligingly stood up and disappeared through the wall.
Our spiritual medium, Derek Akora, had arrived. Now remember, he's been given no prior information about the whereabouts or history of Athelhampton. Just to get us all in the mood, what could be better than ghost stories around the fire, and to ask questions that intrigue some members of the crew.
Derek, do you think it's a good idea to have your house blessed?
Well, I personally don't believe that they should be moved on. I would say leave it to them whether they want to move on or not. As long as they're not hurting us or bothering us, and we're quite happy for them to be around us.
It's interesting as well that you ask whether it's a positive thing or not. And if you look at case histories where people have had a house blessed or exorcised, in a lot of cases, the people have reported that, in fact, it has disturbed them, hasn't moved them on. To give them a blessing is all fair and well if that's your belief, but it may not be the religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs of the person who is the ghost.
Yeah, they resent it.
They resent it because, you know, they look at themselves generally 9 times out of 10. They know they've left the physical body, they're in a spirit body, but they know they still exist.
Is it true that animals can actually see ghosts, or is that just a myth?
Oh, it's not a myth, Rick. It's very true. Because they've not got the intellect and they don't use the brain like us people, and they go off their pure senses anyway.
Can I interrupt you? I'm sorry, but can you just look at Alfie? What is he looking at? Because he's not looking at me, and I know that sounds daft, but he's looking in between me and Rick.
Yes, he's transfixing his eyes, isn't he? Yes.
He sees his reflection in the lens.
No,
No, he's not looking at the camera.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's not
no.
looking, yeah.
What can
Yeah.
you see?
Yeah. Yeah, he's aware. Look at him.
Oh, good God, what's
Okay.
here?
No, it's really straining. I have a job to hold.
He's seeing it, yeah.
Why is he looking?
He's seeing an ape. It's an ape. It's a monkey.
Don't do, oh my God.
Sorry, take that off, Sam. Take it off.
Where is it?
It's there, by you, at the
Oh,
back
don't
of you.
tell me that. No,
it's
please
okay,
don't.
it
All
is.
right, sure.
There's a monkey here.
Move your arm around him. Just see
Why the heck is that
Yes,
there?
he's
He's seeing it. That's
Yeah,
it.
he's on it again.
He's zoomed in on, yeah.
I was really
See, there's no shadow there now, because I'm blocking it.
It was really strange.
That was weird, just as you were talking
he
about
suddenly
it
went
as
like that,
well.
Derek, I'm sorry, I have to sort of say, it's a bit bizarre. All of a sudden you're jumping up and saying he's seeing a monkey, he's seeing a monkey.
Well, I thought it was rather bizarre myself.
Well, do you see all kinds of animals then?
Very much so. And you know, where we're talking about dogs, this particular lovely dog, Alfie here, was reacting as an animal reacts to another animal, not as an animal acts to a human being. And this, when Jason was trying to break his eyesight, if another animal's looking at another animal, it'll do exactly what he's done. Duck, look, to keep the eye on the animal, as if they're hunting them and what have you. And he most definitely has seen that monkey showing itself there in between both yourself and Rick.
He's seeing something, and that's a fair comment. But
He's
to say-
seeing the monkey.
To say he's seeing a monkey is, I mean, perhaps you are seeing that. But to
Yes.
say that the dog is seeing the same thing as you
Yeah.
is perhaps a little bit of
Well, all
a
I
big
know
statement.
Well, he's seeing
He's
this.
seeing something. Yeah, I think you have to remember though that this is an unusual situation for him as a dog. There's lots of lights.
He's been normal all of a sudden. As soon as you mention that one question, then he pipes up like that.
A moment ago, he was looking over. He was looking past you.
But it's not evidence.
Suddenly, Derek appeared to be influenced by the spirit of the monkey, known as the Martin's ape.
Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. Great. You know. Well, don't do that, Sam.
Although Jason was not convinced by Alfie's behaviour, the crew had high hopes for our 24 hours. We had no idea of what was in store.
It's a little bit funny, but it's fine. I mean, it's not scary. It's a little bit weird.
I'm dying to see something. It's not happened to me yet.
This was the first time the crew had spent the night in a haunted house. It was time to start the investigation.
I'm Martin. Who are you? Who are you?
I'm Jason. Hello, Martin.
Where's Robert?
Robert who?
My son.
What year is it?
1605.
1605.
Yes, can't you hear me?
Who is on this throne?
Find out yourself. Who do you think you are?
Derek appeared to have been taken over by a spirit called Martin. Now, you'll sometimes hear Derek referring to Sam. He's a spirit being who gives information to Derek from people who have departed from this world and wish to communicate with the living. When Derek is seemingly influenced by spirit energy, Sam protects Derek to ensure he comes to no harm. Derek, guided by Martin's spirit, was leading us through the house.
Take it off. Take it off me. Please. Let's stop now. Wait.
It was very energetic. Oh, God.
What was that? I mean, it just, I'm sorry. It's just, I didn't expect, it was like being helped to, in other words, I think I was being cajoled into listening and then suddenly to come too close to me and just express whoever what they wanted to say. And it's a new way, this, even to my experience. It's not damaging, it's not hurtful, but it's just a little bit overpowering with
It's
me.
very interesting to watch.
Is it?
Well, yeah.
In the this lovely building, there are 4 ladies, like sisters. They're very close to each other. And 2 of them come here. 2 of them. Not 4, but 2 come in visitation. They talk about meeting, although I don't feel she's connected. The older lady, quite often, they pass each other by. I just feel as if I'm being drawn by the elder lady to a bedroom.
Right.
And it may be of interest, you know, maybe something will hopefully... The lady walks the stairwell. She walks the stairwell.
Which lady is it?
I can't, at this moment, determine this.
Do you have like a mental picture?
Yes, it's like as if she doesn't... This may sound corny, but as her movements, maybe because of the distance, I don't know, of flooring or what have you, to the naked eye, I feel that if she was seen, she would be looking as if she was not walking down, but floating down the stairwell at times. And I feel very, very, in her dress, long dress, but very, not bright, very drab. Very drab. Not a brown, not a grey, an in-between.
Right. Mucky colour.
Yes. And she often walks here. And yes, I've got to go to her bedroom.
There or there?
Can I walk both? I will just walk both ways. Come on, Ellie. Two of these ladies, they come here, and one of them is one of the ladies that walks the stairs. She walks the passageways. One of these 2 sisters. She does it purposely. The other one stays out of sight, I believe. And William Martin walks here as well. William Martin. In actual fact, Sam says, this really belongs to William.
What belongs to William?
This building.
The house.
The house belongs to him in his heart.
What is that noise? Shh, shh. Oh my God.
Fortunately, we did pick up the sound of the cot rocking in the next bedroom, even though it's very quiet, and Andrea actually saw it move on its own.
How is it rocking?
It was just going... No, but it wasn't doing it like that. It was going very definite.
Yeah, I heard it in there as if he said it.
And as soon as I looked at it, it was doing it, and then it stopped.
That violent?
No, it wasn't doing it fast, it was doing it much more slowly.
Like a control?
Yeah.
Was it like...
God, I heard that.
Yes.
I heard
Yes.
that. I heard that.
She said it.
So not...
Like that.
It was doing it definitely with quite a lot of
With control, yeah. And that's a heavy cot, so you'd need a lot of physical strength.
Yes.
We didn't catch it.
Andrea, where she was stood, there was no one else around except for us 3, and the camera could be in the room, so there can't be anyone in here. There's nowhere they could have gone. I did hear the noise. We all heard it, didn't we?
I heard it. But do you know something, and I'm not adding this in, but when I heard the thing, and I don't know whether it was your... Did you cry out? Did you go, oh, or anything?
Well, I just said, oh, it's the cot rocking.
No, before that, because did you hear it? It was like a child's cry or a...
Like a woman's
like
cry.
a woman, like a,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah,
or
like-
something
yeah.
like that.
They are really trying, and you know, it's quite a lovely, active home.
Well, I've never liked that cot. I've always had a really funny feeling
What's the
about
history
it.
of it? Do you know at all?
I don't know. I think it's original to this house.
It is, and the one who walks of the daughters, that belongs with her.
So this is definitely connected to one of the
Yes.
sisters.
Yes.
Derek had mentioned that the lady on the stairs seemed to be hovering above the step level. Andrea thought she could explain why.
I feel that if she was seen, she would be looking as if she was not walking down, but floating down.
I was listening to what you were saying about the fact that her levels are wrong to the floor. It's
Thank you.
because this Going back that way, this house is 19th century, this wing. But also, this going to here is slightly earlier than that.
Yes.
But the staircase is only from the 60s, because Patrick's father put that in. It used to be a spiral before that. I think stone to start with, and then wood to the top floor, and he took it out and put that reclaimed Jacobean thing in, so that would be right.
So the stairs, that's why they would give me the impression as if she's floating and not walking.
Shall we turn the lights off? Let's put the lights out, let's go for it.
As Jason mentioned earlier, having the lights off would hopefully encourage more paranormal activity, and it seems some members of the crew were feeling uneasy.
What are you sensing?
Oh, I don't want to go in there. That's just a corridor. Oh, I don't like it. Just went in here then, assuming it come from that side, and I've just walked in there and it just feels absolutely awful, and I cannot go in there.
Where does it feel awful?
In there.
Rick was so unsettled by his feelings about the doorway, Jason and Derek came to investigate.
Down here.
Oh, yes, look. Just at the back of you, Carl. There's a man there, just at the doorway.
I can't go in.
There he is. Just, so you're right, that's there, in that section there, yes. Right there. You're not sensing him at all? There he is.
Do you mean on this?
Yeah.
No.
Sam, who is he? Who is this man? Oh, right, okay. It's just, say it again, how do I pronounce that? Okay. De La Fontaine.
Dealer.
It's D. It sounded like De La Fontaine. La Fontaine. When? Okay, that's him. He walks round. Okay, he walks. That's who Rick was sensing.
What are you feeling when you walk forward?
Oh, I don't like it.
What is it you feel?
What is it you don't like?
What is it? Explain.
It just doesn't feel right.
That's a
It's making me
fly.
feel
I
right.
can't feel
I went round there and it just felt absolutely awful. And then it keeps
feels
coming
like
back and forth. And I can't describe it. It's like a
real get out. It's a depression.
it's like a depressing thing that just comes upon me. I just can't be near it. And it's whenever I go further down, but it comes to me and then it'll go. And that's why I said I'll go down there, and it just happened again.
That's why I was actually holding onto the wall there, because it was just like this. It was
just like something
forbidding.
It's just like something gripped you.
Yeah.
Is it frightening?
Yes.
Yes, it is frightening.
Why? Why are you scared of it?
It's
the feeling. For me,
I can't describe it. It's the feeling, but it's like they don't. Whatever it is doesn't want you there.
And you felt the same thing?
Literally, I was holding onto the wall at one point, and as soon as I saw Mark was there with the camera, I just, I knew that he had a shot.
It's interesting that you've both picked up on the same thing.
One cot rocking by itself, one ghostly presence spreading fear and dread, and a whole night ahead of us in the dark rooms of Athelhampton Hall. Derek now headed towards the tiny chapel, the scene of many spirit encounters.
Ralph Banks likes this room.
Ralph Banks.
Oh, yes. George Wood. He hasn't been over long, Derek. Comes here.
Does that mean he passed recently?
Yes, it's not long ago. There's something wrong with my legs.
Do you want to sit down? There's a chair just here.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Someone makes me feel as if I'm not balanced with my legs here.
What was making Derek feel unsteady on his legs? When the feeling passed, he wanted to return to the ground level of Athelhampton Hall.
Well, I'm stuck.
Please.
Who's Jack?
He's, come on then, show yourself, I heard you. Come on, Jack. I know you're here. Come on, show yourself. Oh, there he is, that's better. This man is about 5'2", no taller. He's got this very, to here, it's like leather, and it goes all the way down to the boots and the legs and what have you, and it's like barrels. What do they call that, Sam? What do they do? It's like a Cooper. And this is his area. This is Jack's area. And I'd be absolutely stunned, speechless, so to speak, if this man, through what I've just seen, and as I come into the atmosphere, if he wasn't sensed here.
There is a story of a wine cooper being heard here. It's alleged to be a wine cooper. It's just a sound.
It's Jack. Very real.
Let's have a look where you say he actually is.
See, we take these away here.
Yeah.
And all this area here was different than this. And this was his place.
Why is he still
He's
here?
still here.
Away
I feel he comes back. He's not always here. He comes back in memory, if you like, because I feel this work that he did, he took such a, because I feel in his essence here, the exuberance of pride. Oh, he felt as he was above a lot of people in his expertise. But also I get round the same time as Jack, it's like two men unhappy with each other. Two men unhappy, and one of them saying, "That's it. You go, and I challenge you." And it's like, and they were in earnest, these two. They wanted to hate each other. And it was like the feeling of, walking, and these are the feelings, that's why my legs left me before, because one of the men was worried, his legs went to jelly, when he had to turn round and walk this way, opposite, to turn round and point these guns at. One of them was so gutless that he decided he would take the challenge on, but as he turned and walked, his legs virtually went to jelly. He didn't want to do it. And I don't feel that the duel actually brought a fatality. I don't feel that there was a fatality with it.
Right. This sort of duel that you're seeing, is this sort of like a residual haunting, for want of a better word?
Thank you, Sam. Civil War time.
Right.
It's residual.
Connected to that.
Yes, it's residual. It is not two individual spirits coming back and wanting to show that. That is residual. But Jack returns, and Jack takes great pride in being a nice man. No negativity about him.
Derek wanted to go upstairs and find a secret passageway. He was getting information from his spirit guide Sam about the legend of the trapped monkey, Martin's ape.
This is the stairwell down, and the monkey used to go, and it to go into the cellar. You can feel the essence of him. It seems that this monkey was used to being looked after, cared for. He had a master, and there was one daughter who tried to apparently, befriend. But the reason why the monkey still to this present day roams is because he's not linked up with his master again. He misses him, and he's going through all this.
So he's lost.
But he's a kindred animal, a lovely, placid animal. And like that, a lot. Scratching.
People have reported hearing a scratching noise, which they put down to the legend of the monkey.
It's the monkey doing it. Not because the monkey's distressed or feeling jammed. The monkey's doing this just as I suppose a gesture to say, hey, I'm around,
Well, the story has it the monkey was locked inadvertently in this staircase with somebody else, and it couldn't escape and starved. and that's why it's scratching in an attempt to get out.
No, I beg to differ on that. That monkey had the freedom to come up and down, and he did leave his own physical body here, but it wasn't a case of being jammed. And I don't feel in any way, shape or form as if this monkey was distressed before leaving its physical body.
Let's go and have a break. Okay.
With Derek's insistence that the history was wrong about the famous Martin's ape, the night was taking an interesting turn. In the early hours of our night at Athelhampton Hall, most of the crew had retired to bed. That left just a few of us to continue our hunt. We decided to split into 2 groups covering 2 sections of the house.
I don't think, to be honest, after what I went through before, the way I felt, it can get any worse than that, so bring it on.
As for me, like Rick, we had a bit of a strange experience earlier, and I feel like I've run a marathon. My legs are like, like lead, but I'm raring to go actually.
After feeling 1 or 2 experiences earlier on, seeing the cradle rock.
Did you see it actually rock?
I've seen the end part of it, yeah.
Wow. So you actually saw the movement on there?
Yeah.
Jason, the parapsychologist, Bev, our director, and myself decided to spend some time upstairs by the cot, which some of us had witnessed rocking by itself earlier in the night.
I am that scared. You're right. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about this house. I don't
It's a fear
like
of the
it.
unknown. That's what people are scared of. It's a fear of the unknown.
I don't like.
And this is the unknown.
Yes.
And we've had a few things happen, and you're a bit shook up.
Yes.
Jason decided to enter the chapel on his own.
I'm coming into the psychic epicentre of Athelhampton Hall. And I actually find that image a lot more frightening than most images of ghosts or alleged spirits. There's a weird feeling in here, like you'd stepped across a line, like you'd crossed something, like you were somewhere you shouldn't be. Sort of that feeling you get when you're a child, you've been naughty and you've done something wrong, and you get that sort of, I shouldn't be here.
You see, it's got down to 2 of us.
Mm. Think how he feels.
Yeah, I know. In fact, you see, you've got darkness all around you, and I can't cope with that. And knowing that this is the most haunted room, I really don't like it.
The boys decided to go into the secret passage where the ape was supposed to have been trapped. It was very damp, cold, and very dark.
Do you fancy sit on the floor, guys, in here for a little bit? Yeah, fine.
I think this would be an interesting place considering the supposed monkeys.
I'm going to sit on these stairs. That's really not the problem, is it? Please try to show yourself to us if you can. That is right by my ear. There is something golden. There is something breathing on my ear. If you're behind there, try and show yourself. There is something definitely breathing on my ear. I don't mind. I don't feel threatened.
Meanwhile, Jason had returned to join Bev and myself by the cot. During earlier filming, we had moved the cot from its usual location and had just come to the conclusion we might have caused offence.
Okay, that's fine, thanks.
Perhaps it's whoever or whatever this is annoyed that we moved it.
We're very sorry if moving it
Just-
wasn't a good idea. Another spark.
We shouldn't have moved it. If we're right in the assumption that we shouldn't have moved the cot here, and that you're displeased or upset that we've moved it for whatever reason, give us another sign with a flashing orb.
Yeah.
Yes, did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. So we shouldn't have moved the cot.
I'm sorry that we moved the
I am.
I'm sorry.
Yes, we'll
We'll
put
put
it
it back.
I think we should put it back soon.
Yes. Well, just had a very sort of strange experience anyway. Jason's probably going to totally disagree with what I'm about to say, but I think we sort of struck up a kind of strange conversation with an energy around the cot. We were asking various questions such as, you didn't like us moving the cot, you know, show us a light if you didn't, and a light would suddenly flash. So what we're going to do is put the cot back into the state bedroom. Do you think I'm mad, Jason?
No, I'm not saying I agree with what your sort of interpretation of the experience was, but watching the screen there and talking and me talking as well, not just you, there did seem to be some kind of interaction between the things we were seeing on the screen and us. What that was, who knows?
Downstairs in the secret passage, Carl had definitely felt someone or something breathing in his ear. Was it the ghostly monkey?
Nicely done, no. Another one. It's all around here. I mean, if you come here now and just feel my ear, just feel how cold this ear is. Does it feel like red to you?
It's freezing.
And that's just
Let me feel the other ear. What's that like? That's nothing like the other one. The other one's ice cold.
This is like a constant. And it's back again now. It's doing exactly the same. Well, that's a first for me. There's something still very cold on the back of my neck.
Was there someone or something keeping the boys company in the secret passage? Whatever it was definitely making them feel uneasy. Upstairs, we continued to keep vigil by the cot. Now watch very closely around the bottom of your screen.
What if it moved on its own?
I'd be quite excited if it did. I've never actually seen an object move of its own accord. I've heard things moving, but I've never actually seen something with my own eyes moving. I've seen it on video. Wow! Now did you see the way that flickered as it came out? Because dust just moves erratically, it doesn't move in straight lines. Now those are impressive.
Although we didn't see the cot move, what we did see were these strange flashing lights.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, I've seen what are termed orbs. They're the small round sort of globe type ones. But these ones, these flashing ones, are something new to me. I've never seen that before. Never.
What are orbs anyway?
Orbs are believed to be, by psychics and spiritual people, part of a ghost manifestation, the beginning stage of a ghost actually taking a human form, an apparition if you like. What we know of them scientifically is that we can't explain them, and that's all we know.
Oh my gosh, look at that! Did you see that?
I did, yeah. The reason that I'm particularly interested in that is because, as we said, we've had activity in that particular area in this room earlier on tonight.
We all heard, or some of us heard, the cot rocking. I heard it rocking, and that was the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And then to see those sparkly lights.
They are getting stronger. Whatever this is, it's getting stronger because those two flashes that you saw them, they are much, much brighter than the ones 5 minutes ago. I can't explain them.
Our first night in a haunted house had come to an end. It had encompassed fear and amazement, with a cradle that rocks on its own, flashing lights and strange feelings amongst the crew. We can definitely confirm that there's something strange going on at Athelhampton.
Well, over the last 10 years, I've taken part in hundreds, literally, of investigations of alleged supernatural or paranormal events, and most of the time, nothing happens at all. That dog was obviously seeing something strange. It was looking at something very intently, and when I moved my hand in front of its vision, it was straining to watch whatever it was looking at. And dogs don't do that normally, unless something is grabbing their attention, like another animal, for example. Now, Derek, the medium, said that the dog was looking at a phantom ape, of which there is a story attached to the house about a phantom ape. So that was interesting. But whether it was looking at an ape or whether it was just Yvette or the lights or the cameras, which of course he's not used to, is a matter of personal opinion.
For the first time ever in my experience in mediumship, to actually not be taken over, but semi-influenced by, would you believe it, an animal, and that animal being a monkey. I was afraid, trying to compose myself, trying to hold myself, and I thought I was going to be jumping up, making sounds like an ape and running around the room. And I thought, no, this can't be. It just can't be. You know, I'm in this beautiful home. What is a blinking ape monkey doing here? And he was an awesome-looking thing. It's funny, he's shown himself earlier by the side of a vet. And later, it was amazing what I saw, because basically he had a collar on later, but when I first saw him, he didn't. So I don't know what was behind that. Most strange even to me.
We had a lot of unusual occurrences happen here, certainly a lot of absorbing things happening around us, which we couldn't explain at the time.
Carl and Rick must have gone to an area where they were feeling these sensations before the rest of the crew.
I just can't be near it, and it's whenever I go further down, but it comes to me and then it'll go, and that's why I said I'll go down there, and it just happened again.
That's what I was holding on. I was actually holding onto the wall there, because it was just like this. It was
just like something. It's just like something's gripped you.
It is known that spiritual activity, whether it be negative or positive, the people to go into that atmosphere first will catch the brunt of that. Plus, well, I've found since coming on the investigation, Carl and Rick are very sensitive. So, you know, it stands to reason to me. It's gonna, I don't like using the word wallop them, but can take you unawares, and this is why the feelings were coming to them, I feel.
Well, the most interesting thing to me that happened last night was the cradle moving, apparently of its own accord, because the architecture of the house is such that if it had been a human being and touched it or moved it, we would have heard them walk away, the floorboards make an awful lot of noise. And Andrea, who lives in Athelhampton Hall, was completely convinced by this, and I think her testimony and the look on her face as she watched it sort of convinced me almost that she was witnessing something unusual, and we couldn't explain how it started to rock, and 3 of us heard the noise. So that was interesting.
Well, it's often said, you know, that the orbs are virtually the first stage, or one of the first stages of build-up of spirit people just before the ectoplasmic stage. And often said the more orbs that come together, the more it can formulate and build the outline of that spirit entity.
It's not necessarily paranormal. We link it to ghosts because it is only caught at the moment in places where ghosts have been seen, but we don't know what it is. The orbs that we caught last night, however, were not normal, if there is such a thing as a normal orb, and they were moving very much like sort of electric lights moving across the screen and flashing, which I haven't seen before, and we have seen orbs in many places, but not like that.
To see and experience different, to the physical eye as well, different types of orbs, such as, you know, flashing lights and what have you, it is very, very, very good as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, put it down to this, they've tried very hard in their own way to show us, you know, hey, we are around. And that's quite exciting to me.
24 hours complete at Athelhampton Hall, and there were some very strange occurrences last night that I don't think any of us will forget in a hurry. We shall see you on Most Haunted at the next location. Until then, sleep tight.
I just don't want them sort of disturbed in any sense.
I promise you.
I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It's our home. We have football and everything, and I just don't want...
Well, my sensitivity is not to disturb, okay?
Right, okay.
From the bottom of my heart, I promise, okay?
Thank you.
Feel right. It's making me feel right.